Welcome to our lone edition of the IU Indy Coaches Show for the month of November. My name is Greg Rakestraw, and as you may know on this program, we tend to rotate the variety of sports that IU Indy has to offer. I almost went like Jim McKay Wild World of sports here. Nobody's falling off a ski jump, I don't think, on today's program. Time to talk a little swimming, though, and of course, when your athletic facilities are housed in one of the most famous natatoriums on the planet, the swimming program should be pretty good at IU Indianapolis, and so far so good. They have swam 6 times in dual meets, and they're 6-0 on the season. Head coach Damion joins us now. Good to see you again, buddy. How you been?
Craig, thanks for having me.
All right, so first of all, I'm not sure people recognize how long your season is. It covers a lot of ground. Kind of walk us through kind of where you are on your schedule right now.
So we are just about halfway
Yeah.
through the year. We start right around September 1st, and we end around April 1st. So it's a long season. And next weekend is the halfway point for us.
I would say it's pretty sure. It's been a few years since I've actually been in college, but pretty sure it's about like a month shy of both semesters. Now, part of the offset for that, for you guys at least, is you have such a wonderful facility. A lot of schools want to come to you instead of having to travel so much, and you see the smile on Coach's face for that already. What's it like calling the natatorium home each and every day?
Yeah, we're blessed. I mean, to have the iconic facility we have, to have the fastest pool in the country, a historic facility that everybody knows that we talked about right before the show, having athletes that are our age that swam in that pool and being inspired by Olympians, world records, things like that. It's a blessing. We're truly gifted with the opportunity to swim in the best in the country.
Well, I know in talking before we got on the air that you've had success and you've got a lot of new faces in the program this year. Tell us about it.
Yeah, so roughly a third of our team is freshmen or newcomers that are coming in. And after graduating some high-powered seniors last year, we did a great job recruiting last year to replace that with not only the talent, but more of that talent. So our depth is really solid, great young, enthusiastic, energetic competitors that are also really solid students. So we're trending in the right direction for sure.
Well, again, obviously, dual meets are important, especially those that have the HL next to their name in terms of the Horizon League. But it's impossible or you don't want to peak now, knowing that you want your athletes to be peaking, for a big event coming up here in about 3 weeks, and then obviously conference meets, NCAA and stuff like that in February. What is that build process like when you have a season that goes for so long?
Yeah, dual meets, I look at dual meets like quizzes, academic quizzes, right? It's a gauge for us as coaches to see how our training is working, what are the skill sets and things we need to work on as a program, how are the athletes responding to it, and what are they needing to work on in terms of like being competitive, recovery, little skills, things of that nature. The mid-season invite, which is next week in U.S. Open, are for us a kind of like a midterm, and then Horizon League Championships and NCAAs are kind of the final. So we go into 4 parts of our season. We're finishing technically the first part of our season, getting ready to start the second part, which is goes from training into a little more competitive-based stuff, if that makes sense. So each benchmark is there's some culmination meet in each one of those pieces, and that tells us a lot about what we've done and kind of where we need to go.
All right. Anytime you are going to compete in an event that says U.S. Open, you have my attention. Tell us about that coming up first week of December.
Yeah, that's the largest USA swimming related event in the country during the academic year. And it's an opportunity for our athletes to race other college programs and college athletes they don't get a chance to, pros. There's a lot of great, obviously, Olympians from the state of Indiana this past summer. And having a chance to race against them outside of our venue or outside of our state, as well as places, that we don't get a chance to race. Florida's, the Californias, even like the state of Washington, good opportunity to race some elite talent there. And as coaches, it also gives us a chance to get some eyes on some of the juniors that are out there racing at a high level too.
All right, so let's talk about this. And we talked about it from a different perspective. We had Kate Bruce on the show 2 weeks ago. We talked about, the rising tide lifting all ships. Every Fever game is a sellout. What does that mean for women's basketball? My goodness, we put 2 Olympic pools inside of Lucas Oil Stadium, and it was literally down the street from campus from where you were this summer. And again, the smile is as wide as it can be. What was that experience like as a swimming coach to have that in your backyard this year?
It was awesome. I mean, anytime you can go to Olympic trials as a whole is amazing. And each year that it happens, USA Swimming does a better job of bringing an elite event, a entertainment level event to this. So to see it in Lucas Oil, conceptually was a hard idea, I think, for all of us to figure out how is he going to put a swimming pool in a football stadium. And then all of a sudden you see it, and it was amazing. And then the LED boards and the lights, and the only way to describe it was like a rock concert, a sporting event, and New Year's Eve all at the same time, right? It's just amazing. For us at our facility, we probably average in open swims maybe 50 to 70 people. And there were days where there were maybe 25 people, 30 extra people per lane every half hour. I mean, it's unbelievable. And being able to draw that attention to our sport and our state, again, great Olympians and great history here anyway, and then getting people to see our pool for the first time in addition to that venue is second to none.
Again, we could talk about this from the IU Indy perspective, but just as somebody that has dedicated their life to the sport, to see 22,000 or more at an individual at a night of swimming, what was that like for you?
It was unreal. Yeah. I mean, it was absolutely unreal. And we went on Wednesday night, which was the longest night. I took my family down. We went on the longest night. And, again, the idea of it's kind of hard to grasp, and the number of fans. And that was the night that they set the record for most people at a swimming meet ever. And the electricity in there, the energy was awesome. But also you look over, and there's a superstar there, and there's a swimming, legend there. And just being in the same place where people were literally drawn to our sport in that venue, that once-in-a-lifetime opportunity is awesome.
All right, tell us about the two student athletes we're going to be talking with here later in the show.
Oh, absolutely. Some of the best as usual. I mean, Emmaleigh Zietlow, without question, she was on the show last year with us. Most dominant women's swimmer in our school history, I believe, and probably also in the Horizon League. And Luke Dibley's a legacy. Talk about a kid that – his family was ingrained with us, and then he's taken that torch and run with it. Two of the hardest workers in our program, what I would call the face of the franchise for sure.
And apparently Luke wasn't scared up and be having coffee with him about a month ago. So we get to have an on-air conversation after an off-air conversation we had, and we'll tell you about that story coming up a little bit later on in the program. I know from a conference standpoint, again, you've already seen Green Bay, Milwaukee. You've already seen Northern Kentucky, who is new in terms of swimming this year. I know the team you're always gunning for is Oakland.
I don't say their name, but
the team up north side of Detroit, at the place that Ed Holdaway and I are literally heading to later today, and we'll be up there for the weekend. What do you have for the Grizzlies in terms of swimming by the time the conference meet rolls around?
Well, I think, again, we have a super talented, aggressive, competitive team. And I don't like to look necessarily at individual teams. I like to look at our performance versus our performance. I think it's us versus us mentality. It's kind of always been like that for me as a swimmer, as an athlete in other sports, and then for my coaching philosophy, it's been that. At the same token, we want to give everybody the best we got. We want to give it. We want to give them a little bit of hell, if I can, right? They have to fight us more than us fight them, if that makes sense. That's kind of our approach to it. Break records to beat us kind of mentality.
Well, you're off to a fantastic start. Always good to see you, my friend. I know it's a grind. Enjoy that long season. Thank you, buddy.
Absolutely. Thank you.
Damion Dennis, again, men's and women's swimming coach here at IU Indianapolis. Emmaleigh Zietlow will be joining us next. Again, as you're watching the all-swimming edition of the IU Indy Coaches Show, we are live at Back 9 Golf Entertainment just southwest of downtown Indy. Back with more in a moment on the ISC Sports Network.
At Indiana Members Credit Union, we're invested in more than just your finances. We're invested in your future, the future of your family, the well-being of the community you live in, and in those who dream big. Until those dreams become a reality, any bank can give you a loan or open an account. At IMCU, we care about more than just dollars and cents. We care about doing things that make sense. And investing in you makes good sense to us.
This is the place that's skill built. Here, highly skilled physicians never rest in their pursuit to heal, to comfort, to cure. With these hands, you'll receive nationally recognized heart care and Indiana's most leading-edge cancer care. With these hearts, with these guts, With these brains, you'll find the highest level of care in the state. This is the hope that's skill built, and it's around every corner of Indiana University Health.
We gon' push it to the limit, we gon' rise together, side by side to the finish. Down the ride forever, we can ride together. So together we ride, certified. It's together we ride, we gon' push it to the limit. We gon' rise together, side by side to the finish. Down the ride forever, we gon' ride together. So together we ride, certified. It's together we ride, we gon' push it to the limit. We gon' rise together, side by side to the finish. Down the ride forever.
Listen up, all you golf lovers. Looking for a private course for yourself or your company? Problem solved. Indy's Eastside Hidden Gem and Pete Dye's first 18-hole design is Maple Creek Golf and Country Club. Visit maplecreekgc.com today.
Welcome back on the ISC Sports Network. Thank you so much for joining us. My name is Greg Rakestraw. This is the all-swimming edition of the IU Indy Coaches Show. Now, normally we're here every other week, but because of upcoming holidays, we kind of stretch things out a little bit. So this is our lone November edition. We'll be back on December the 11th. We'll talk all women's basketball then. And while we're here, let's give you some updates. Women's basketball had a really impressive start to the season. Hung 101 on Evansville to start the year. They will play at Purdue on Thursday. Next home game in the jungle for Kate Bruce's squad against the Salukis of Southern Illinois. IUIndyJags.com/tickets always has more information. You can watch the game on ESPN+. The men's team is right in the middle of home games. They thumped Goshen last night, 97-55. They host Eastern Michigan tomorrow night, 6:30. Again, get down to the jungle and get your tickets now, or simply watch on ESPN+. The swimming team has the weekend off because they're getting ready for their big meet, the House of Champions, coming up next weekend and next week at the IU Auditorium. And someone that I'm sure will be winning like every heat she is in is Emmaleigh Zietlow that joins us now. Good to see you again for talking in the spring. How are you?
Good. How are you? Thanks for having me.
Of course. Can you believe this is your senior year of collegiate swimming?
It's hard to believe, but it's crazy. It's been a great season so far, so I'm excited, but it's bittersweet.
Obviously, as Coach talked about, there's a lot of new names and faces. What has it been like having such success with a bit of a younger group this year?
It's been great. Our women's team is a little bit smaller than usual this year, which is totally fine, and it has brought us all a lot closer anyways, and I think that looking towards the end of the season, we're going to be in a great position to dominate in the conference in whatever events we want to, so it's exciting.
If it's a smaller team, what does that mean for you? Does that mean more events for you or just maybe a little bit less depth?
Just a little bit less depth in some areas, but I guess it puts more of a focal point on like A relays, and we get to solidify spots in those versus having a bunch of relays, which is kind of fun because then you can fight for spots in that sense, but it's super exciting either way.
On an average meet, how many events are you swimming for the team at this point?
Between 3 and 5, maybe 3 and 4.
Okay.
But yeah, it's normally the longer ones too. But
All right, so I've slept a couple of times since we had this conversation back in the spring. So what events are you swimming these days?
Dual meets, it's typically the 1,000, the 200, the 500, and then some sort of relay at the end.
All right. As you can tell, she's been cheering on her teammates. She's got a little bit of the coach voice going. So I may try to shorten the conversation for Emmaleigh just a little bit. When you're swimming the 1,000, like how mentally locked in do you have to be, or even because you're turning that many laps, does even your mind start to wonder a little bit while you're in the middle of a competition?
Oh, for sure. Sometimes you get a little distracted because it is a long race, but you got to keep your head in the game at the same time. Your coaches will keep you in line. If you can hear, Damion has a pretty loud cheering voice, and he's probably just about the only person I can hear anyways.
That it cuts through water instead of cutting through glass. It cuts through water.
Its job.
What you would say from a swimming perspective. Obviously, Coach talked about he thinks you're the most accomplished female swimmer in the history of the program. When he says that, what thoughts go through your mind?
It's super amazing, and I'm super grateful to be hearing those things from someone that I've learned so much from over the past 4 years. He's been a great leader for our whole team. He's been a mentor and like in and out of the pool, and has taught me so much, and I'm super grateful to call him my coach. And I can't wait to grow our relationship even outside of being a college athlete.
We'll talk more about maybe what's next for Emmaleigh coming up in a little bit, but just to kind of give you just the background, here's the awards from earlier this year. The Horizon League Swimming and Diving Athlete of the Year, the Horizon League Swimmer of the Meet from the 2024 Championship, and the Most Outstanding Jaguar at the 2024 JAG Awards. So just to kind of give you an idea of the level of athlete campus-wide and even conference-wide as well. And I'm sure I asked you a variety of this question about 9-10 months ago, the last time we did this. But being from the state of Wisconsin, why was downtown Indianapolis and what was then IUPUI the right place for you?
Definitely the facility drew me in a lot, and the recruiting process was super difficult at for my year, just because it was the COVID year,
Right.
and it made it a little bit harder to be able to know what the culture of the team was like and what the campus kind of was like and everyone there. And Damion did a fantastic job selling the program and telling us all about how the team operates, culture, just a lot of key things that I was looking for. He checked those boxes. So he did an excellent job. So I'm super grateful for that.
As I said, looking back, it certainly seems like you feel like you made the right choice in terms of
for
schools.
sure. For sure. I would not change a thing.
All right, the major for you at what is now IU Indy is what?
Psychology.
And what are you hoping to do with that?
Well, currently I am doing a bunch of research in psychology, and I'm looking to, in the next couple years, go to grad school. I'm probably going to start that at the end of my bachelor's degree, probably in May, maybe June. But I'm going to do an online program, probably through Grand Canyon University, and get a degree in sports psychology, and hopefully find my way back to college athletics.
I was going to say, that was the next follow-up. Again, once you get to that senior year and you know, not many go past high school, not many go past college, you know, the next question would be, how do you kind of replace that competitive itch? It sounds like you kind of have that path planned at this point.
Yeah, for sure. I feel like I've grown more of an appreciation for the mental health side of athletics, being a college athlete, and I would love to kind of share my wisdom and knowledge with others at some point.
Well, obviously, we touched on the fact it was the facility that kind of helped draw you into this campus. You heard me talk about this with Coach. You guys don't travel as much as other swimmers have to do because some teams want to come swim you at your place. What's it like kind of having a little bit of time back, knowing you're not spending as much time in buses or planes as other athletes are during the year?
It's awesome. I really think that it's quite the advantage, thinking about House of Champions, how we get to stay at our own apartment and get in our own bed, not having a roommate, things like that. And it makes a huge difference in the mental side of things too. Like nothing, you don't have to worry about, I'm not going to sleep well here. I'm not going to do X, Y, Z. But I think it's great, but it's super fun when we do get to travel. It makes it a little bit more memorable and exciting when we do those things. So, yeah.
Couple quick things, then we'll let you go. Again, you heard me talk about this. You have all of these Olympians literally in your backyard during the summer. What was it like taking all that in?
Oh, it was awesome. I was one of the people that got to swim at the meet that was prior to the trials at the pool.
Yep.
And that was like one of the coolest experiences of my whole life. And the pool was awesome. Just the facility, they did such an awesome job. They literally made swimming like $1 million sport, like look like $1 million sport. And there were so many fans, and it was just such a cool experience. And even going to watch the trials was so fun. Like I went home and then I came back and I was like, I need to go back to Indy just to watch the meet. So I did that a couple times, and it was super exciting.
Did you ever have on a bucket list swimming in an NFL stadium? Did that ever have a box you thought you would ever check?
Nope.
Okay, now you have.
And I did. So that's super cool.
At a very young age. All right, final thing before we let you go. Again, you've accomplished a lot as an individual. I know you've got more goals, again, left to kind of check those boxes off. What's going to make this final season a good one for you and for the team?
I think that just having our women's team place second at the conference meet would be amazing for us. I think since our sophomore year, we've obviously lost a couple people, and it's been a smaller team, but I think all of us just coming together as a team and accomplishing that goal would be so, so exciting. And holding the trophy is just one of the coolest things ever. So I think that on the team side, individually, I think just getting best times and hopefully making NCAAs will be definitely a fulfillment of mine. I would love to end my career at that meet in Washington. So those are definitely some big goals, but I think they're definitely doable. So
outstanding. Emmaleigh, thank you so much.
Thank
Good
you
to
so
see
much.
you again. We'll take this quick time out. Luke Dibley will come back, and we'll wrap up the show with him. We'll talk swimming and coffee and other stuff. It's the IU Indy Coaches Show, live from Back 9 Golf Entertainment. Thanks to our friends at Key Bank and White River State Park for their continued support of the show as well. Back to wrap it up next on the ISC Sports Network.
This is the place that's skill built. Here, highly skilled physicians never rest in their pursuit to heal, to comfort, to cure. With these hands, you'll receive nationally recognized heart care and Indiana's most leading-edge cancer care. With these hearts, with these guts, with these brains, you'll find the highest level of care in the state. This is the hope that's skill built, and it's around every corner of Indiana University Health.
At Indiana Members Credit Union, we're invested in more than just your finances. We're invested in your future, the future of your family, the well-being of the community you live in, and in those who dream big. Until those dreams become a reality, any bank can give you a loan or open an account. At IMCU, we care about more than just dollars and cents. We care about doing things that make sense. And investing in you makes good sense to us.
We're Citizens Energy Group, and we're here for you. We're your local utility provider and your neighbors. We take care of our customers while connecting to what matters. We are committed to providing safe, reliable services and making our community a better place to live. At Citizens Energy Group, we're all citizens.
We gon' push it to the limit, we gon' rise together, side by side to the finish. Down the ride forever, when we ride, we gon' ride together. So together we ride, certified. It's together we ride, we gon' push it to the limit. We gon' rise together, side by side to the finish. Down the ride forever, when we ride, we gon' ride together. So together we ride, certified. It's together we ride, we gon' push it to the limit. We gon' rise together, side by side to the finish. Down the ride forever.
Welcome back for the final time for this edition of the IU Indy Coaches Show. Again, we'll be back here on December the 11th with an all-women's basketball edition. Swimming and diving our focus. Here's swimming, frankly, our focus on today's show. First of all, thank you, Rob Lynch, Charlie Hammock, as well as Vince Morales, our behind-the-scenes crew. Thanks to Ed and Emmaleigh from IU Indy, making sure everything works behind the scenes as well. And again, we're at Back 9, and they're open while we are here. They're open every Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday from noon and onward. And again, you can use the netting as like the North Star. It's kind of the southwest spoke of downtown, and you'll see this place tucked up against the White River. Joining us now is Luke Dibley, and he and I have had an off-air conversation before as part of a really cool program started by IU Indy Athletics this year. It's basically Coffee with the Jaguar, something along those lines is the really official creative name of it. But what it is for like old dudes like me that are a part of the Jaguars Athletics Advisory Board. We all kind of volunteer once a month to meet with a current student athlete. It is a great networking opportunity. And so one of the 3 months that I have done this with, Luke and I sat down, broke bread, shared stories, etc., at the Java House on New York Street. So, buddy, it's good to see you again.
Yeah,
How you
good
been?
to see you. Good. How are you?
I'm good. How's your senior season going so far?
It's going awesome so far. We are about halfway through the season, as you've heard. The men's team is currently undefeated in dual meets. This past weekend, we crushed Ball State, which is always a fun in-state rivalry. So, yeah, we're looking good, feeling good about the rest of the season.
Well, I know in talking with Emmaleigh, she said, hey, there may not be as much depth on the women's side. Sounds like things are going very well for you guys on the men's side.
Yeah, we definitely have a little bit more depth than the women's team, which is fun because you get to compete for those roster spots at the end of the season. Rosters are confined to, I think, 21 or 22. So we have 25 or 26 on the men's team. So it's always fun to have to push each other and compete with each other every day.
All right, the events you're swimming this year, your senior year, or what?
The 400 IM,
Okay.
the 500 freestyle, and then most likely the mile. There are some other options up there, but those are the 3 that I'm usually doing.
That is a very unique mix because you're asked to sprint in 4 different disciplines and then swim a mile.
Mm-hmm.
How does one get to do both ends of the swimming spectrum?
Yeah, it's definitely challenging, but my training has been awesome this year so far. Yesterday, for example, we did a 400 IM set, and it was awesome. I got to race my 2 closest competitors in the 400 IM, and then, for example, Monday mornings are more mile, longer distance stuff. So just training, being able to race those guys next to me is what gives me confidence.
And I know, and Coach kind of touched on this. It's been a family affair for you, swimming at, again, IUPUI, now IU Indy.
Yep.
Talk about kind of the family bond you have here.
Yeah, so my older brother, Nick, swam here all 4 years. Mm-hmm. He was a junior my freshman year, so I got to swim with him for 2 years in college. And he was a big reason why I decided to come here. I'd swim with him all while growing up. And to be able to race him and work out with him again was really special.
What's the major for you?
Public safety management.
And did you follow my advice in terms of potential internships?
I did.
And did you land one?
Not yet.
Okay.
Still working on it.
All right. So I joked this about Luke. I said, listen, I'm going to ask you a question. I'm going to have an aha moment, because we did this about, 5-6 weeks ago, something like that we sat down. And so Luke has a very unique major and a very specific major, which is great to kind of have that clarity of thought as a 22-year-old, 23-year-old as to what I want to do. And potentially it's doing public safety, but doing so at major sporting events. Yeah. Well, obviously, we tend to have a lot of those in Indianapolis. So I said, hey, call this guy at Lucas Oil, call this guy at Indianapolis Motor Speedway. Yeah. So I'm glad that other than my stupid jokes, I'm glad that coffee actually did something of importance for you.
It was definitely very helpful. I'm excited to get in contact with those 2 guys. So,
all right, very cool. It's good to hear.
Yeah.
What is going to make this senior year a good one for you in the pool at IU Indy?
This year, less than others, I've not really been focusing on time so much. I've more been focusing on the experience. Mm-hmm. In 5 months, I don't get to be a part of this team anymore. And it's an honor and a privilege to be a part of this team. So I'm really trying to just focus on the other guys and even the women's team, and just creating those memories with them before I get out of here.
All right. Again, you knew this question was coming. You heard me ask it to the first 2 guests. To have the swimming trials in Indianapolis in the stadium in which you had, what was that experience like? Just as someone that's grown up in the sport, what was it like?
Yeah, it was nothing that I ever expected to happen.
Yeah.
Like Emmaleigh, I was able to swim in the meet right before trials in that pool. Again, one of the craziest experiences of my life, just walking out onto that pool deck, seeing the red Lucas Oil neon light, but then having a 50-meter pool in front of you was kind of crazy. But no, the trials itself was awesome. I was there both nights when we broke the attendance record for a swim meet, and it was just awesome to see that much attention put on our sport.
And Luke's goal the next time that they have this at Lucas Oil, by the way, the event went so well when the Olympics are in LA in 28, they're going to hold the swimming at SoFi. Kind of if it worked here, it's going to work there in LA. Yep. So the next time the trials are here, Luke's goal will be to be head of security for the event instead of maybe actually swimming in the event.
Yep.
All right, we'll wrap it up with this. Coach, I want to mention Oakland's name, but I'll mention him here. I know you were close to winning a conference championship last year. Mm-hmm. What's going to take it to go over that hump and claim that Horizon League title coming up later this year?
I think just keeping in the back of our mind the last 2 years we've been so close.
Yeah.
Using that as motivation, in practice, we can use that with each other to really just motivate each other and push each other to our limits. So
Sounds good, my friend. You literally know how to get a hold of me.
Yes.
Let me know how I can help, all right?
Yep.
And I'll be rooting you on the rest of the year.
Awesome. Thank you very much.
Luke Dibley, again, senior from the South Bend area, Northridge High School. Thanks to Emmaleigh, Zietlow, Damion, Dennis. And again, thanks to Ed and Emily behind the scenes. And we'll talk a little women's basketball when we get together in 4 weeks. Thanks for joining us for this edition of the IU Indy Coaches Show, right here from Back 9 on the ISC Sports Network.
At Indiana Members Credit Union, we're invested in more than just your finances. We're invested in your future, the future of your family, the well-being of the community you live in, and in those who dream big. Until those dreams become a reality, any bank can give you a loan or open an account. At IMCU, we care about more than just dollars and cents. We care about doing things that make sense. And investing in you makes good sense to us.
This is the place that's skill built. Here, highly skilled physicians never rest in their pursuit to heal, to comfort, to cure. With these hands, you'll receive nationally recognized heart care and Indiana's most leading-edge cancer care. With these hearts, with these guts, with these brains, you'll find the highest level of care in the state. This is the hope that's skill built, and it's around every corner of Indiana University Health.
We're Citizens Energy Group, and we're here for you. We're your local utility provider and your neighbors. We take care of our customers while connecting to what matters. We are committed to providing safe, reliable services and making our community a better place to live. At Citizens Energy Group, we're all citizens.
Listen up, all you golf lovers. Looking for a private course for yourself or your company? Problem solved. Indy's Eastside Hidden Gym and Pete Dye's first 18-hole design is Maple Creek Golf and Country Club. Visit maplecreekgc.com today.